ahead.
Thank you, Renee. And I guess I'll get started. They're excited to be here today. I already learned so much from the earlier presentations. I'm Stephen, and I'm a PhD student in communication at the University of Southern California, where I'm an affiliate of the Media and Socio-Technical Systems Research Group. Today, I present speculative failure as an analytic for AI development, specifically how it can be useful in contesting the current trajectories of AI development to reimagine more just and desirable futures. Initially, the plan was to ground the idea in an early stage project I'm working on, where I work to co-envision the future of AI with creative workers. But the plan had to change due to the ongoing wildfire in Southern California, where my interlocutors are located. I wasn't able to facilitate the workshops as intended. But so instead, this talk will focus on providing a conceptual reorientation and is meant to provide a blueprint that can be replugged and retooled by practitioners working in different contexts and domains of AI. To orient this conversation, I'll start with the tensions that often occur in participatory AI processes on the ground. I'll then illustrate the pragmatic utilities to work through such tension through speculative failure as an analytic. Are the slides progressing okay? Can people see the second slide? It starts with as interventionist projects. Nice. So many of the participatory projects we see these days are so-called interventionist projects. That means that these projects often come with two assumptions. First, that the goal of these projects is to make things better. And second, that such a goal should be possible at the project level as project leads intervene into existing processes, systems, and ecologies. Such assumptions thus designate progress as the destiny that we will eventually arrive at, as long as we can handle the project properly. Specifically in the case of participatory AI projects, participation is figured as the means that will lead us to such progress. That AI, if properly developed in a participatory fashion, will bring us the progress we desire. What I mean by this is that when participatory AI projects are determined to bring us to progress, this aspirational aim often ends up trapping such interventions in the problem solution bind, where we scavenge for solutions from within the realms of what is possible and feasible by bettering the technicalities of AI. And what ends up happening is that we reorient participatory engagement towards solving problems that are fixable as AI projects, as opposed to dealing with the concerns greater than AI, such as what futures people want to build, as well as how different people may live in such a future. As such, even when we do have participatory processes in place for AI development, the bigger than AI concerns, such as racism and poverty, to name a few, often left unaddressed, partially satisfied, or even thrown out of the window at the end of the project. In the spirit of reorienting participatory AI projects away from the problem solution bind, I advance speculative failure as a pragmatist analytic to resurface the greater concerns to the forefront for the public rumination of the future possibilities of AI. Instead of seeing solutioning as the end of participation, speculative failure foregrounds the pragmatic utilities of ruminating on the concerns together, even when the concerns might only be partially resolved at the project level. As an analytic, speculative failure draws on the political philosophies of agonism, American pragmatism, and Afro-pessimism, to name a few, that emphasize on staying with the problematic. It is premised on the idea that pluralistic possibilities are, first and foremost, about recognizing the conditions and stakes of our realities, as opposed to rushing to questions of how to get there. Speculative failure, as in its name, embraces a speculative orientation in making visible the other scenes of failures that are forgotten, have yet to take place, or will otherwise never see the light of day. These scenes of failures bring us to unfamiliar, unlikely, even fictional ruptures. My use of the term failure builds on Mike Anani's conception of AI failures as scenes where AI errs, breakdowns, and emerges as a matter of concern. Yet the goal here is not to surface more scenes of AI failures as problems to solve. Rather, by foregrounding different ways failures show up, This scene perspective reveals the ruptures between expectations and potential effects, which in turn serve as symptoms to rethink what futures we may want to build with AI, if at all. Speculative failure is also hopeful. At first glance, failures and hopes may appear as a paradoxical pairing, yet failure coalesces with hope around their shared affinity of uncertainty. Both failures and hopes send an antithesis to a kind of rational control over the future. They're both founded on the unfounded. As such, as an analytic, speculative failure is hopeful as it brings us to reimagine away from AI's ordinary operation in the present by orienting toward unfamiliar, unlikely, and fictional possibilities. At the same time, it is pragmatic as it grounds future imaginations in the possible experiences of pain, loss, and struggle. It is from there where we can really start to rethink how such experiences can potentially be cared for and accounted for, as opposed to the other way around. To illustrate how speculative failure can be operationalized in participatory AI development, let's take design workshops as a method. For instance, during design workshops, instead of asking people how their problems may be fixed with a bettered AI, one can instead ask the participants to reimagine how different scenes of failures may occur and then prompt their ruminations how they would like such scenes to be cared for and accounted for. That is, instead of designating a perfected AI in terms of its calculated paradigm as the end of participation, speculative
30
failure
seconds, Stephen.
orients. Yes, I'll wrap it up in a minute. Speculative failure reorients the question toward how we can better the socio-technical infrastructures around AI to care for and account for its potential rupture. Um, we'll end it with a quote from Ruha Benjamin. Thank you for listening. I look forward to the discussions with the panelists and the attendees. Especially curious to hear if you find a concept pragmatically useful and if and how it shows up in your own projects in some ways. Thank you.